you're following and subscribing. If you've got any talking points, views, opinions, etc., get them in. As usual, people, hope you and your loved ones are doing well and safe. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course, in some cases, good night, depending on obviously where you're tuning in from. And yeah, man, I hope the weekend was great for you lot. I hope this week is filled with everything you desire in your personal, private, and professional lives. One love to Arsenal. You know, we keep winning. It's normal. You know, really, they say we keep beating the teams we're supposed to. We keep beating the teams below us. And in true fashion, in the same way when we beat Spurs, when we beat Liverpool, when we beat Palace, when we beat Brentford, and now Chelsea, it's all this talk before the game. We go out there and do the job, and then they focus on how poor the teams were. You know, I know two truths can live in one realm. Chelsea were dog shit. Let's be real. Pardon my French. You know, that's the easiest game I've seen Arsenal play at Stamford Bridge in a hot minute. That's the easiest clean sheet Ramsdale's probably got in his Arsenal career, and definitely this season. We had to work harder at Leeds away. One has to wonder, can we play Liverpool? Can we play Chelsea every week, really and truly? New manager, same old problems. That's why Mikel Arteta is undefeated at Stamford Bridge. Let's just keep going. You know, until it's mathematically impossible for Arsenal to get Champions League football, we haven't achieved nothing. Let's just keep going. But yesterday, fantastic performance. We weren't our best, you know, in the sense of we didn't put them to the sword and score them goals on another day. Our lack of finishing may have cost us. Not a single player wanted to lose their duels yesterday, so the collective took care of itself. And in an easy way, I want Ramsdale to be the lowest rated Arsenal player in terms of player ratings, because keeper had nothing to do. I'll take that every week. You know, obviously we got over the line. I think Jesus, fantastic game despite not scoring, probably could have scored. If he doesn't press the hell out of Thiago Silva, he's probably the only player from Chelsea that was doing all right. We don't get that corner. They don't fall to sleep. And obviously Gabriel/Saka, both of them were celebrating. Still to this day, I don't know who got it. I think it is Gabriel. But it is what it is in that regards, people. Partey, boss. You know, the problem is with Partey is if he's not there, and hopefully he can remain consistent. Xhaka quality, but I personally feel while it was a great performance individually, I can't pick a man of the match. I think it's men of the match. I think Saliba deserves it. I think Ben White deserves it. I think Thomas Partey deserves it. Behind them, I think Gabby Jesus deserves a shout. Man to a man, we did well in it, and we share the collective spoils and we go home. Saka gets a shameless goal or assist against another top six side. Gabriel, centre-back, scores. I believe him and Martinelli have been unfortunate in that they have not gone to the World Cup. Gab Jesus has been called up allegedly. We await official confirmation, and it's probably what we knew. We knew Brima, Militao, Thiago Silva, and I'm missing out another name. We're going to go ahead of Gabriel. Martinelli, you knew Anthony Ouadrago, Vinicius, these lot ahead of you. You also knew Gab Jesus would go in it, people. So it is what it is. We'll get into the transfer news, the tactical reviews, all that good stuff in a second. Please make sure you're smashing the like button. It'd be rude to not see what you lot are saying. Quick question: do you think Austin Tusty can challenge Gabriel at centre back next season? I watch him when I work security at Birmingham, and he looks amazing. Obviously, playing for Birmingham is a completely different entity than playing up for Arsenal Football Club. Playing for Arsenal Football Club, but he's a lot better than I thought just from doing my long reports. Make sure you check out the playlist on my channel. Gracious on the ball, in the trenches, playing in the back three as well. I hope so, because it means we could find someone out there. But I'd probably say maybe we comes back for pre-season, we run the rule over him. He probably gets to be part of the pre-season tour and the decisions made. For me, it could even be worth letting him go Birmingham for another year, or sending him to a higher division team or another team and let him acclimatize to European football. But whether he develops here and makes it here, or he's sold on, bread in it. Lots of good performances. Odegaard quiet again. Lies. In a circle, you're my guy. Odegaard was fucking brilliant yesterday. I can't lie to you. He should have scored, as should Gabriel Jesus, as should have Saka, and I'm definitely missing someone else out. But I disagree heavily. I've watched the game twice. I disagree. Of course, you want it to be the Odegaard show. Control the tempo a bit better. You want to see your number 10 get goals and assists. But respectfully, I think you need to look at the game differently, man. Odegaard had I keep it true. Odegaard was quality yesterday. I can't lie to you. Every player was. I actually feel if anything, it's the man who scored / assisted from the corner, Saka and Ramsdale by default, who are probably our slowest players on the pitch yesterday. So I heavily disagree. When you look at the collective goal, how Odegaard, Xhaka, Jesus and Cole pressed, how Odegaard, got close to Jorginho, who's probably one of the only players, excluding Thiago Silva, who did a thing. I heavily disagree, man. He was in the thick of it, man. He was in the thick of it. You, man, are moving stingy with the like button. Run it up and support DG. I appreciate that. One scramble in goal against the worst Chelsea side I can remember when we're talking titles. I don't know about who's talking about titles and things like that. If Chelsea are good or bad, that's nothing to do with us. Our job is to make sure we're in the best possible scenario, in the best possible way Arsenal can be, and win these games, really. I don't really care if Chelsea are doing good or bad. I just know when the season starts, we have to look at these away games, the Etihad, the Anfields, the Shite Hart Lanes, the Old Trafford and St Mary's, where we let ourselves down, Stamford Bridge. If you want to be a top 4 team and have certain consistencies and challenge long term, you need to be able to go into top 6 games and do all right. And I think so far this season we've done all right. It needs, all of these teams are going to want revenge. Against United, we let ourselves down away. Make sure they don't do the double. Spurs away, make sure you do the double. Anfield, Liverpool, they're gonna be a completely different team by the time we play them again. People, we need to be on task, and it's not even just them. No one wants to play Newcastle at this moment in time. I know we've got Brighton on Wednesday and we'll be doing a watch along. I don't want to play them in the league. I don't really want to go to any away games. We can laugh about United losing to Aston Villa, but last time we rocked up against Una Emery, our former gaffer, in any competition, we lost. So nothing's done. We just have to keep doing what we're doing, keep working hard, and keep going, really, because there was a blip a few weeks ago where there was an element of complacency. We were still grinding out results. Keep this mentality. We've achieved nothing. If the season ends tomorrow, great, we're top, but that's not how it works. We need to be saying these sort of things when there's 20 games played, when there's 25, when there's 30, when there's 32, when there's 37. So keep it up, man. DG Bailey, DG, what are you saying? How do you feel about Arsenal's title chances after the game? I don't know, but I'm starting to believe. Listen, as long as you're in the mix, you're in the mix, innit? I don't know about league titles. I don't know where Arsenal are in the league table. I don't concern myself with looking at title challenges and things. All I'd like us to do is keep doing what we're doing. We've scored in every game. We've got one of the best records in terms of clean sheets, and obviously at both ends of the field. The scariest thing is we've got many gears because we could score a lot more goals. We could put teams to bed. We probably should have put Chelsea to bed in the first half, a bit like Nottingham Forest, a bit like Southampton, even though we ultimately got the 3 points, excluding Southampton. Defensively, not so much yesterday, but we still have those brain farts. So you just keep improving, keep doing what we're doing, keep that same hunger, and you never know where the league could take you. But I don't know where Arsenal are in the league table. I don't concern myself with that. I just know I need Champions League football next year. All I ask is that we focus from now to the end of the year, with it obviously against Brighton and Wolves being our last games until we start playing in December. Let's get out of the end of the year period / January. Let's still be saying the same things we're saying. Can we make it from January to March? Can we make it from March to April? And then from May, it's a shootout. If we are still in that territory, don't let your hard work come unjust, because to a degree, that's kind of what failed us last season. There's many twists, turns, bumps, and bruises. Right now, it's not that we're getting luck because we made our own luck, but considering, we've got players that are learning to score goals, we don't necessarily have goal scorers. It's great. What happens when the purple patches from these players stop? What happens when we go through that blip? What happens with Xhaka and Partey in their current form are missing? Or even we're going to struggle with Odegaard or one of Saliba and Gabriel. Now, this is part and parcel of football injuries and things of these things. I'm not trying to be overly optimistic or overly negative. I'm just telling you my opinions and the reality of things. We're doing good, but it's not done yet. It's really not done yet. I'm loving what we're doing with every game. Of course, you're starting to believe a bit more, allegedly, man. Chelsea, it still looks like the Chelsea that played us in America. You're 100% correct. I have seen Liverpool have been put up for sale. I haven't read the article, but some people that have read the article have said it's a bit clickbaity and it's a minority stake, so I don't know. DG, who was the player who made you fall in love with Arsenal? Easy. Well, there's a couple, but Thierry Henry, Ashley Cole, Big Patrick Vieira, Bobby Perez is what it is. Not bad. Just walked through the door, turned on YouTube in time to hear DG. Appreciative, man. Who was your first sign in FM23? Can't lie, I don't remember. We'd have to check, man. We'd have to check. Appreciate the Trinibads. Edison, appreciate you for tuning in and locking in from early as well. You better win your Prem this season. Liverpool about to get that oil money. Listen, I don't know about league titles. For Arsenal, they need to leave that to people like yourselves, the fans and the talking points. I don't know about league titles. I hope so. No one will be happier than me if we win a Premier League title. But boy, yeah, you're many years older than me. Shout Charlie George, but I weren't about them times there. I reckon Tini will leave. Mikel prefers a 5-week Rusty Zinchenko to Tini. Listen, if Tini wants to cut out, but you have your time, and you came on to help us see out the game, really, because Zinchenko was quality yesterday, but there were some rusty elements, the foul throw, couple of Buki touches. There was one I can't remember if it's the first or second half, but he kind of he tried to control the ball, he kind of lagged out. But all that I care about is the collective. The collective is winning games, getting Arsenal back to where they want. Then after that, I'm not playing this and that and the third. And obviously, naturally, Tini's going to have to revisit his situation. But it is what it is, really. We need depth, and Tini will have his time. Certain man think he's hiding when he's not scoring or assisting, but he keeps it ticking nicely. When he's not playing, you notice how it doesn't flow as nicely. I can't lie, man. You need, bro. Listen. Odegaard has had some poor games for Arsenal Football Club at Stamford Bridge yesterday. It wasn't one. That's why him and Mikel Arteta are unbeaten around them sides there. Really, Barcelona got Man United. We have to wait till February to see what's going on where we're concerned. Beautiful weekend, bro. Beautiful. We need to keep going because there's going to be times it's not going to be as beautiful. There's going to be times we hold the L or drop points. That's why we need to keep bringing points in, because again, you give yourself a certain floor to fall upon. And it's been a fantastic weekend. That's probably even a double whammy for Man United fans, because obviously the first thing is disappointed against Aston Villa because they dropped points. But considering Spurs lost, yeah, Liverpool won, but Spurs lost. Chelsea lost. You know, you can start to make ground because we're all in this together. It's been a fantastic weekend, ain't it, for Arsenal fans, man? Joe Willett scored. Iwobi played well in the for Everton. Obviously, Una Emery got 3 points. We beat Chelsea. Spurs lost. It's lit. 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 Tomiyasu might be back fitter than we think. I don't think he'll play this week, but yeah. And at the end of the day, nothing's been decided. We got to try and duppy Brighton in the cup. Tough trip to Wolves. I don't care about Wolves' form. Molineux's not an easy place to go to, and they've got nothing to lose. And I haven't checked the league table, but as some people say, we're top of the table, all these things. Everyone wants to be that first team. Well, I say first. United and Southampton took points, but they want to be the team to burst our bubble, really and truly. So we need to just keep working, man. I understand it in the same way misery loves company. When everything's going wrong with the football club, I understand why you're vexed. I understand why man are optimistic. A lot of the things that we have wanted at Arsenal Football Club, regardless of winning, losing, and drawing, are now being displayed. There's fight for the shirt. There's tactics. You see what it means to the team. Celebration police going to be on to us. We're putting together results. For me, the biggest thing is nothing's assured in football, but I can finally now say Arsenal can be a competitive team. And also for me, I'm still a bit wary about the away form, but I'm more confident away from home now. Stamford Bridge, okay, St. Mary's should have done better there, but it wasn't a thing of we got scared of the atmosphere. We shot ourselves in the foot. Man United, we let ourselves down and showed certain naiveties that they exploited, but it was definitely a more positive performance in the league there than in recent weeks. So I am starting to be more convinced away from home. Obviously, we dealt with Brentford and Palace at the start of the season. Leeds was an iffy game. On another day, it goes elsewhere. But that's it. In the Prem, you have to suffer. So again, let's take what's been good this season and make it great. The evident areas of improvement, which weren't really highlighted against Chelsea. But again, goals, it's nothing personal. We had 8 touches. We stifled them. I think when you watch the game again, tactically, I don't know, Chelsea still got teething problems with their back four and things like that. And I understand Chelsea fans want new players and that, but a lot of them players won the Champions League. 60 million on who is he? Cucurella, you got quality players, bro. Raheem Sterling's not dead, but you kind of shagged yourself in the game, if I'm completely honest with you. And with that, we might as well start looking at from a tactical point of view, people. Big up you lot tuned in as usual. Smash the like button, people. We're here for a long time. We've got so much things to cover. Focusing on the front 5 players. Well, I say 5, 6 players basically. They kind of tried to line up like that. Mount and Aubameyang, they were trying to do this rotating thing with Havertz, like as this trio. And again, if you remove some, it's almost like they tried a diamond with Jorginho more there, Mount pulling in over here. Sterling off. Sterling's a bit irrelevant to that. And you had Aubameyang. They tried this diamond. It didn't work. It didn't work because they were toothless. I actually felt sorry for everyone that was part of Chelsea's back 5, because anytime they looked up, they had no options. But we did them, people. In reality, you more saw it like this. Aubameyang's half playing through the middle, half on the left. Havertz is dropping / playing as the striker. Loftus-Cheek is drowning out there. Sterling on the right-hand side is predictable. And Sterling's a good player, technically. But what helped him a lot at City, and Arteta will be able to tell us better, is his game was based on movement, running in behind. Arsenal fans, we've seen Sterling score enough goals running in behind. It didn't happen. Right-hand side, predictable, bottled. Bottled. That's meant to say Saliba. There's a serious error there. Don't know what the S is, but we did them. Odegaard was on Jorginho. Anytime a Chelsea man was in possession, they had nothing. That's why you kind of saw in the build-up to the goal when we got the corner, Jesus pressed as Thiago Silva. I think he played a 1-2 with Saka. I stand corrected. skipping through a bit. He had the shot, which led to the corner, and they went to sleep defensively. But I think we did them tactically, for regardless of how good or poor they were. That's their business. I don't really care about Chelsea's tactics, really. Our manager just has to deal with what he needs to deal with, and he did. 66 likes. We're off to a great start on YouTube. Can we be off to a better one? I think Odegaard and Cole, naturally with the pressing that's been there. But Odegaard was next to Jorginho. Mount was poor tactically and technically, but he was kind of dropping. Aubameyang and these men are stifled. Left-hand side, we're doing what we need to do. Zinchenko is being a fullback, but venturing into midfield as well, and further disallowing Chelsea to get out. Xhaka is doing what he can down the left. With that being said, with Zinchenko, Odegaard's kind of holding, not Odegaard, Martinelli's kind of at times stationing himself as a left-back. Jesus, obviously, he affected the game off the right when he pressed Thiago Silva, and Jesus on that had a great game in my opinion. Should have scored, could have scored, but all action, and that's what we need from him. Goals will come by God's grace, or we need a new striker to go with Jesus. But he was pulling out to the left. Considering everyone thought Azpilicueta was the one that was going to get savaged, I think he did all right, but he's pulling out to the left. You've got Xhaka running in behind. You've got Zinchenko taking it in turns. You've got Gabriel pulling out wide and stepping up as well. You've got Ben White and Saka, who could have done a lot better yesterday, probably still carrying an injury, getting forward back free and allowing Saka to be narrow, allowing Xhaka to go in, allowing Martinelli some freedom actually to go centrally as well. Zinchenko had his thing as well. And second half, it's like Chelsea gave up, if I'm honest with you. We had them in their own half, man. So you're seeing a fluid system that floats between a back three, a back four. You're seeing relationships build on certain sides. I think the left-hand side was quite good. So I'm happy with how we performed and ultimately what we did, really. I've got no complaints, Arsenal. Thank you very much for that. Gabriel has now scored 7 Premier League goals since the start of last season. No defender has scored more in time. And cash money, what a time to get it, really. You know, the victory over Chelsea today, which was yesterday, marks Arsenal's 3rd consecutive win against a Big Six team in the Premier League this season, which, again, Chelsea are going to want revenge, as are Liverpool and Spurs. And we welcome Chelsea to our place. We've got to go Shy Hart Lane. We've got to go Anfield. We've got to welcome United. So they're all going to want get back. So take the good and make it better, really and truly. And I know they're not traditional top 6, but I'd throw Newcastle on current form into that. Do you want to play Newcastle at home, let alone away? We saw what happened last season, let alone how they're playing now. So we need to keep going, innit, really. Arsenal have won 3 consecutive PL away games versus Chelsea for the first time in the competition's history. Mikel Arteta, it was his 150th game and he'd celebrated in style. He has won 87. Wenger won 82 of his first 150. So it's not where you start, it's where you finish. But keep it going, Gaffer. Keep it going, man. Keep it going. William Saliba, who won man of the match outright. 72 touches, one possession 13 times, made 3 clearances. There was a Buki moment where he kind of swiped at it from Aubameyang, but it's cool. 3 duels, 3 interceptions, 2 tackles, 2 touches in the yacht box, 2 accurate long balls, 1 block. And there's talk around he's seriously considering the new deal now. By God's grace, him, Saka, Saliba, get it done. I'd even say the technical director, Edu, to follow on Mikel Arteta in the summer. Charlie Patino, Ethan, who batted up United in their draw. Shout out to young Ethan and Miles as well for the under-18s. But yeah, Arsenal, the only team to have scored in every PL game so far this season, while we also have the joint most clean sheets and fewest goals conceded. And I think, I do think that's amazing. That's a byproduct of what we've done. But I do think that kind of flatters us a bit, because I do think if certain people stop scoring and this purple patch stops, we're in trouble. I definitely think we're an improved defensive side. We're now crossing that border to be a good defensive side, but we haven't quite earned that right yet. So it's all about taking the good and making it great. But we're in the promising signs are there. We're in the right direction. The sat nav's on. We're on the right road. Really, Arsenal have now won away to Chelsea at Stamford Bridge in the Premier League for 3 consecutive seasons, 2 clean sheets with that, and out of a 6-goal thriller, we came out on top. And the most encouraging thing for me was the scenes, man. Absolute limbs. People trying to fight Xhaka rattling and keeping his head in check. Closest that a lot of them boys in blue got close to us in the game, really. If they had that same fight that they wanted for Xhaka on the pitch, it might have been a different result. But hey, that's for Graham Potter, who big up Potter, because he was very flattering towards Arsenal, I believe, in his comments, man. Arsenal's Premier League record against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge from 04-05 to 2018, 2 wins, 10 defeats in 15 games. Under Mikel, 4 games, 3 wins, 0 L's. We will lose under Mikel Arteta there one day. It's not this year though. Big up Thiago Silva. He's one of the only players who could say they played anything close to half decent. In the first half, he made more successful attacking third passes than any other Chelsea player in the first 45. He should not be leading that stat. But what does that tell you? Chelsea are toothless. Chelsea don't know what they're doing, but we've stifled their attackers. And, you know, a big reason as to why we won the corner, Thiago Silva's dithering in possession, and there was a few times that happened. The only criticism I would say for Arsenal on another day, Saka, Odegaard, Jesus, we need you to bag in it. And especially Jesus' header, because we were cutting them open quickly. We was progressing from start to finish in the first half. All we needed is that bit quality in the final third. And I don't care how we win, just that we win. But to go to the next level, we should have finished it in the first half. We shouldn't have to rely on a Bandulu goal sort of thing. But I don't care who scores, how we score, just that we score. We did that in it. Shout out Thiago. Aubameyang for all his chatting. Less chattings, more slappings. You know, it's nothing personal. I mean, Mikel Arteta's wrong to question Aubameyang's attitude personally because, you know, he was kind enough to play for us. He was kind enough to make it 12 against 10, you know. Fantastic, you know, took on the number 9 shirt for Chelsea, doing all he can to be their Lassana Diarra, their Gallas, their curse sort of player, really. You know, we've given them Cesc and Giroud, they've given us duds as well. But anyways, we stifled their attackers, kind of what I'm alluding to. Aubameyang had a total of 8 touches, meaty. You know, it's nice to see that from Aubameyang and it doesn't affect us. Mason Mount lost the ball more times, 16 than accurate passes. Again, hero ball with 13. Raheem Sterling completed only 1 of his 16 dribbles and won only 3 of his ground duels. Toothless from them. Stifled their attackers. What's Orbino saying as well? You know I got time for these positive Arsenal stats. Smash the like button if you haven't already, folks. Arsenal have kept 5 clean sheets in 7 away games so far this season, and that is amazing. There's been times where we could have got one against Southampton. We're fortunate to probably have that against Leeds. Let's take it to the next level because away form has been an issue. You know, I'm more confident at home than away because at home, I think we can take on anyone. Forget winning, losing, and drawing. I think we can. We now need to move into that element away from home, and we've kind of did that to a degree, but it's not an assurance. We've started well. Let's keep going, really. And I think we've taken as many points off the Big Six so far as we did last season. United are 5th. They're closer to the relegation zone than they are at the top of the table. Brazy. Arsenal are 8 points ahead of Spurs with a game in hand, 11 points ahead of United, 13 of Chelsea, 15 ahead of Liverpool. And again, there's a lot of football to be played, but let's keep it going, man. Big up to Bukayo Saka, Mohamed El Nene, because against Chelsea, they played their 150th game for Arsenal. I think Ben White had his 80th. And, bro, I'm seeing my fullback. Bro, we're playing guys that you could say are not even fullbacks. I'm seeing Ben White trying to get his first Arsenal goal. Crazy. Aubameyang contributed just 8 touches. Lovely, you meaty twat, bro. All that chatting for nothing. And again, Southampton only seemed to turn up at home to Arsenal. You saw them get battered. Shout out to Willock for bagging as well yesterday. Only City in 2015 and 2017 have restricted Chelsea to fewer shots in a home game for the Blues than Arsenal with 5 did today. And what quality shots, bro? What did Ramsdale have to do? There was one where Havertz broke and his final ball was terrible and Ramsdale was off his line, collected it. Ramsdale didn't have to do nothing. That kit is still clean. If Ramsdale threw that shirt to the fans, that's the best shirt to get. There's no mud on that. Arsenal might as well hang that back in the club shop and sell that as brand new. There's no sweat on that. There's no body fluids on that from Ramsdale. The only thing Ramsdale did was just probably counting grass and spitting in his gloves like all keepers. And I want that every week for my goalie. So, yeah, man, it is what it is. Arsenal become the first team to win 10 PL away games versus Chelsea, while they're just the second visiting side to win 3 in a row. Lovely, lovely, lovely. 5 shots. Me, DB won it. And I do think an element of that is Chelsea being toothless. But I don't want to focus on Chelsea because I think the media keep doing that. 2 truths can live in the same realm. Chelsea were toothless, but we also to do. I've seen that they bigged up the Crystal Palace game. No disrespect to any of these teams apart from Spurs, but and Chelsea. But they bigged up Palace. They bigged up Brentford against Chelsea. They bigged up Liverpool and they bigged up Spurs, and then they kind of discredit us. And you know, because if we lost, they'd still be talking about it till next Friday. But yeah, Saka's, and again, I will have to say, referees have a duty of care to Bukayo Saka. The man gets kicked. How Cucurella was getting away with murder, I don't know, but it's week in, week out now. Saka, unfortunately, is going to get seriously hurt, God forbid, unless someone does something. And that's not just him. There's a lot of players like that. What has Saka got to do to get fouls? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Referees have a duty of care. First things first. Shout out to Liverpool and obviously Crystal Palace as well for doing what they needed to do. And the gaffer Unai Emery. It's a fantastic weekend for us, mate. Almiron doing it for the FPL. I'm trying to see some more. Gabriel has 9 goals from corner situations. Set piece FC. He's bagged more from it than Harry Kane and Zuma, Duncan, Mohamed Salah. Just trying to find the Arsenal stats. Don't care about the rest. Shout out Telemans. Edu, get on the phone. Bring Maddison as well if you can. But yeah, the pressing. And it just showed. I do want Jesus to score goals, but man can play well without doing that. But goals win games. Shout out Ruben Neves as well. Should have put you in the FPL. Bring him as well, man. Bring them all. Shout out to Company IC3 thing. Where's all the... Have I gone back too far? Probably, innit? Lazy, you lot, lazy. You know, where's all the statistics? What's Shaq saying? Obviously, Hassan Huttel's been clipped. Since becoming Arsenal manager, Mikel Arteta's side have won more Premier League away games against Chelsea than on the other side. It was a training pitch. We probably have to organise a friendly with the under 18s or 21s because we had a training session at 12 p.m. yesterday. No one... You know, it was all fun and games. Chelsea fans waffling when it's Jogba playing Ahmed Traore and them kind of duds there. When we get some real G's, bottling. Bit vexed Kulusevski's back for Liverpool for Spurs, and he came back with a bang. Trying to find the Arsenal statistics, lad. Don't care about nothing else, lad. Shout out Gabriel as well. Shout out Saliba. Shout out the whole of the Arsenal team, mate. Zinchenko won more duels and made more tackles than any other player in the first half against Chelsea, people. So he did what he needed to do. Raw, man had 4 touches in the first half, so 8 in total. Aubameyang was ish. He received more yellow cards than he had shots. I mean, we could tell you service reliant. Aubameyang's nothing if you're not laying it on the plate to him. And an aging one, it's crazy. You thought you was going to come and score and say it's nothing personal when you strike against your old team. It weren't in the script. It normally is, but it weren't in the script yesterday, lad. Pussy. Next time, tell your agent, don't let BT do you dirty. Shut your mouth and be respectful, and we wouldn't be catching you like this. Waste, man. But anyways, away from that, Graham Potter was quite generous to us. I was reading these comments myself. I'm not going to bore you lot with them, people. I don't really care. Chelsea, that's your business, really and truly. And you look at our successful passes, you know, we trump them for everything there. Can you click on this? You know, successful passes in their half, successful passes in the final third. Bro, for at least 3 of them, successful passes in digits, really. And we've kind of basically doubled that. We got 28 to their 15 for touches in the up box, you know. We cut them open like a bread knife, you know. We had set 371 passes to their 258. In their half, we made 181 passes. Theirs is 98. 46 successful passes in the final third they had. We had 109. And I've already said the 29 one, people. Open play, 10 pass sequences, 9 to their 4. High turnovers, whatever that means, agendas, 16 to their